Hey guys, it's Brittany. So, today's going to be a popcorn chat video, and today I'll be discussing on the film The Little Death. And so, I did do a movie review on this, so if you want to check that out before watching this, feel free. And I'll leave in the iCard right here. I think it'll be at this corner. So, of course, as I have mentioned before, that what it's about is about this young woman who is married to a wealthy man, and that she already has something planned, and this is something she has planned, I think, way beforehand. I mean, I don't know um how this happened. I don't know if this was before they met, but somehow she has this plan of someone that she knows to kill her. Oh, I think I said that kind of weird. I'm sorry, to kill her husband, and so that way her and this guy could take off with the money, um, and yeah, I think live a life together. Yeah, even that itself uh makes me angry, you know. Yeah, it upsets me, like those who like use people not because they love them, or especially when they marry someone, it's not because they love them, it's because they marry them for the money, and they plan to get rid of them, kill them, and that they take the money for themselves selfishly, and they could do whatever they want with it, even if it means to start a whole new life of their own or with someone else, like of someone maybe that they were cheating on, you know, someone that they were seeing, while they were still with that person. So that upsets me because I hate that. And I hate that that happens to some people. I do, because it's like, why? It's like, if you're gonna do something like that, like, then don't. I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to make sense of this. Like, if you're gonna do something like that, then don't marry the person to use them for that. Like, if anything, leave them alone and just find another way, to do what you want to do. But I don't know. I'm sorry. But so it was released. Okay, I finally found the release date because when I did the movie review, I couldn't find the release date of the movie, and that was really weird because normally I like to look at the release date and to not only share of to review the movie or to discuss the movie in a popcorn chat video, but I also like to know like the month, day, and year, the date itself of when the movie was released. And what's weird is that when I tried looking it up on Wikipedia, it's not even on there. Which I don't know why, but it's not. So I'm here on IMDb. So I finally found the release date, and so it was released in theaters March 26, 1996. So yeah, cause I thought, okay, I have to at least mention the date, because I feel like it's important to mention the date of when a movie was released, whether it was released in theaters or even was aired on TV, a TV movie. It's just important to know of the date, and I feel I feel that in general dates are important, with anything. Like if it's someone's birthday, or if it's like maybe the day that someone's getting married, or the day of so yeah. And to me, I would say, as a movie buff, as a movie lover, that dates are important of when they were released in theaters, aired on TV. I want to know the date because it's important to know that. So yes, I finally know. So now you know that it was released on March 26, 1996. So finally I found the date when I couldn't find it because it wasn't on Wikipedia, so I had to find it on IMDb. And I'm curious, what does that stand for? IMDb. What does that stand for? I would have to look that up. But, so since you already know the description, the plot of the movie, and if you want to see the review, again, I'll leave it up here in the iCard. So, okay, let me just go back here real quick for the cast. But yes, I would say we get a really good cast. And, oh boy, I think I might have to do that another time. Because I was gonna share something of the first time I watched it, but I might have to do that in another video for another time, only because somehow was funny though, which I'll might mention a little bit, is that I because I remember, I think when I did start to watch it again, it was last year, and somehow I thought, okay, I don't think I've seen this movie before. And so it turns out when I actually was watching it, somehow it kind of felt familiar. Like, okay, I think I have seen this movie before, but which parts did I watch? And so yeah, it turns out I did remember the very first time I watched it, and it was years ago. I think I was trying to think. I think I was maybe 25, around there or so. And so what happened was, I just happened to see it on TV, and so the only actor that I recognized was J.T. Walsh. And so when I saw him, I was like, I didn't know he was in this movie. So I thought, wait, what's this movie called? And I looked, and it said The Little Death, and I thought, okay, why does it say that? So even the title itself, I was kind of like, okay, so what is it about? What happens? And I can't remember if I had seen his character's death scene. I might have seen a little bit, but then I think something happened at the same time, so I got distracted and I probably left the room. I don't know. I really don't know. But then I think afterwards, I think when I came back to my room, then somehow he's no longer there. And I'm like, wait, what happened? Like, what happened to him? So when I came to realize that he died, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what? How? And so, yeah, I think when I was seeing this very odd relationship between Kelly and Nick, between the stepmother and her stepson, yeah, I just remember, I think seeing that probably, I think that's what I remembered most the first time a long time ago. And I think that kind of stuck with me, and I was like, oh, what? Like, what are they doing? And so, um, and so I think what's kind of funny is that, because that was something that I remembered. Yeah, so because of that, um, yeah, and even when I did watch it again, that's when I thought, okay, I mean, I know on one hand, okay, it may not seem that weird because they're not really related because she's the stepmom and he's the stepson, so they're not, you know, biologically related. So even though it may not be weird, like I said, in the sense that they're not related at all, but still, I mean, to me, I would say their relationship just feels off, only because it just doesn't feel right, knowing because of what she did, but knowing that he doesn't know what her plan was to kill his father and to collect his money and do whatever it was that she was going to do with it. But since he didn't know that, but honestly, I think he should have known that probably much earlier, because if he had known that, I know that he would not be even thinking about having a sexual relationship with his stepmom. Or that even though she probably was his stepmom. If you know what I mean. I don't know. And so I think he should have known that earlier. And that if he had, I do think not only he would have been angry like how he was towards the ending of the film, but I think he probably, if he had known what she was up to, that he would have turned her into the police much earlier rather than towards the end. So that's something I think that could have been different. So, yeah. Timer. So, what was I gonna look up? Okay, so Brent David Fraser plays Nick, and so he's the stepson. And Pamela Gil Gidley, I think that's how I say it. I'm sorry. So she plays Kelly, the one who is the young wife, and she has this scheme, this plan to get rid of her husband, to kill him. But it's not that she does it, it's someone that she knows, who she, I think, hires uh, to kill him, only because to collect his money. So again, that that part itself, I think, when it comes to that, and not just in this movie, but in any other movie or in a TV show or even something that happens in real life, that upsets me. It's but I will say this, it is a good movie. It is. But honestly, when it comes to those scenes where Kelly and Nick are having this very off sexual relationship, honestly, I even just seeing that when they're kissing and you see those scenes where they're nude and they're, you know, and everything. I don't know. I just, I'm just like, okay. Like, it just feels really off. It just feels like, no, this is wrong. Like, did you not know what she did? Her plan? And like I said, I think if he had known, then this would not be happening between them, of them having sex. So yeah, I'm just like, oh gosh, he should have at least found out what happened, because you know how there are some characters when someone dies or when someone gets killed, and then you get that character where they're like, no, something doesn't seem right. Like, why would this person say that he this person, he or she died, why would they say that? Like, no, I don't think it was that at all. I think something's wrong, and I'm gonna look into it. So you get those characters that are like detectives, where they're looking into it and they're investigating to what really happened. Was it this, or could it have been something else? And I think he should have looked into it further. I believe he somehow should have been his own detective and investigating, like, okay, something doesn't seem right. Like, something just doesn't add up. So he should have done that. But no. So, yeah. And of course, we get J.T. Walsh, who plays Ted Hammond, which is the wealthy husband who unfortunately gets killed off. So yeah, I'm not sure how many minutes he gets killed off. I'm not sure if it's within 26, 27 minutes or 30 minutes, around there. I would have to look into that because I'm not sure when the time frame is when his character gets killed off. But here's where I am complaining about his character's death in the movie, because for one, it was too soon. And not just that, but it's I just felt like him getting killed off was, I just felt like that should have not happened. Only because and I just want to say this too, because I think with this movie, along with other movies similar to The Little Death, of course we see those characters where we're hoping they don't get killed off, but they do. But honestly, I feel like, why why kill them off when you could be sneaky about it, when you could be a little bit more creative with changing something of the story, and that instead of the character being killed off, that instead that he would still be alive, but that he would be, let's just say, this is how I see it, because I already have this other whole idea, different story in mind if it had been done differently. So I think, for what I believe, is that instead of killing off his character, that instead that he confronts the guy who shot him. Okay, what was his name again? Was it Mike? Or was it Dick? Okay, I don't know. Let me look. Okay, let me see. Oh, Bobby. Okay. I don't know. I just thought he was more of a dick, honestly. Sorry for saying that, but still. Okay. So, again, back to this idea that I had, is that instead of killing him off, that not only would he confront him and tell him off, but that, okay, let's say if he was pointing the gun, but then let's say instead, if he had, like, missed, like, let's say if he had just quickly grabbed the gun and, like, shot, like, if he had, pulled the trigger. So let's say if it happened so fast where he thought he shot him, but he actually missed, that then it would have sounded like that he did kill him, but then he would actually fake his own death, and that just when he thinks that he's dead, and that somehow he um like he runs off. But then as for uh JT Walsh, Ted, that he somehow gets out of there quickly, and he goes to the police and he tells them what happened. And so he now goes into hiding. And so that with the police, and that even with detectives, that they're actually going to investigate not only the guy who was tried to kill him, but they're going to see if whether if it was just him, like if it's something that was maybe something random, or if this was planned. And that if they had, like, let's say they were going to investigate everyone he knew, those he worked with, even his wife, and maybe, who knows, even like relatives of his, of his family. If they had to investigate everyone he knew, including worker, like those he worked with, and even family, including Kelly, his wife, then yeah, I think if they were investigating to see if they could find anything that may look suspicious, and I think if they had found something on her, and knowing that she had known him who was going to kill him, that instead that they found, oh yeah, they actually know each other, there's a connection between Kelly and Bobby, and this is what we can see here, and this is, you know what I mean, like just seeing evidence, like, oh yeah, they made these phone calls, and just seeing what they can see and what the connection is, and whether even for them to find out, like let's say if they were to question her or him, or let's say if they had found out in a very sneaky way that Bobby, that the reason why he was there to kill him is because since Kelly and Bobby have this connection, because that they know each other, that I know they would somehow tell him, like, well, we can see that it's possible that since they know each other, that, and because it could be that they have this sexual relationship with each other, that it seems like he was there to kill you because he knows your wife, she knows him, they have this some sort of relationship with each other, whether if it's romantic or not, and she probably told him to kill you. And if she had told him to kill you, it's because to take your money. And I think if they had found that out some way, I think that would have been great. And I think if he had stayed in hiding and just seeing what they're doing, especially investigators really like digging up dirt on her and on Bobby, then yeah, I think that would have been great. And I think what would have been a very unexpected surprise would be that towards the end, and once he finds out that that his son and his wife are having this off sexual relationship with each other, I know that would have made him angry, but I think he would have been hurt too. I think her not only knowing of that, but he would have been angry and hurt knowing that she was planning to kill him just to take his money. And then I think what would have been, like I said, an unexpected surprise is that it would be that towards the end, and that once his son finally finds out what she was up to and everything, like what we see towards the end of the movie, that when he finds out, he was going to call the police to turn her in. And so when he finally comes to that realization, that then, and when we see how scared she was because she didn't want to be turned over to the police, and that she doesn't want to go to jail, and that so just when she's looking for her, and I think this is before she kills herself, and that it would have been a great surprise where all of a sudden Ted comes in and he makes this unexpected and unannounced surprise to both his son and his wife, to for them to see that he is not dead and that he is alive and well. And that I know if Kelly had seen that, she would have been so shocked, so surprised, like, no, this can't be, like, like she would just be in total disbelief, and she would not believe it. And I think she would probably end up saying something for him to know that she never really loved him. And as for his son, that he would just be so surprised, and that he has tears in his eyes because he's just happy that he's alive. But then I think as they reunite, and hug, and I think as they start to, I think, develop more of a strong bond between father and son, that I think just when they reunite, when he makes that unexpected announcement that he's alive, and I think Kelly would have been so scared that she's gonna get caught and that she's gonna go to jail, and knowing that she wouldn't want to spend in jail for the rest of her life. And so I think both in front of them that she would still kill herself. So I don't think that would be any different. So yeah, that is my idea. Like, because I remember even after watching it last year, somehow I thought, okay, how could this been better? And so I had this whole other story that was that I was creating in my mind, and I thought this could have been great, of this and that, like, oh my gosh, like they could have done so many things with this story. They could have, like, if they had done this, like what I told you, I think they could have made it probably more intense of this thriller movie. And I think they could also made it more even dramatic, and even more like suspenseful, where it's like, okay, so this is happening and they don't know he's alive, and all of a sudden once we see that he makes this announcement that he is alive, and she's in shock, and then she's like, what, no, 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 and she ends up saying something for him to realize that she never loved him. And then as for his son, as I said, that he's shocked too, but he has tears in his eyes because he's just happy that his dad is alive. And so, and that, like I said, that then once they reunite again, and everything, that then Kelly would still kill herself, and I think that would not change. But like I said, that's the story idea that I had. Like, yeah, they could have really done this. They could have done it this way, which, like I said, I think would have been more dramatic, more intense, and suspenseful. And honestly, I think I would love to have seen it that way, like of this different version of the story. But I know that's something we won't get, sadly. Like, we won't. But at least, only in my mind, that's how I see it. But, I mean, like I said, it is a good movie, and there are some things I do like about, I would say, I do like the movie most of all. But the only thing I just feel very off about is just the sexual relationship between Nick and Kelly. And I'm just like, but, and the reason why I thought about this story about his character not being killed off and him being alive, going to hiding, and then coming into the house as this unexpected surprise for his wife and son to see that he is alive. The reason why I came up with that is because even when I was watching the movie and when his character is killed off so early, in the movie, and because this thing was going on between, like I said, Nick and Kelly, and because we found out about Bobby and we found out why this happened, because she was up to this probably all along, or who knows how long she had this plan and everything, So I came up with that idea only because I felt like when his character got killed off, not only was it so soon that it happened, but even without his character being around and because he got killed off somewhat early in the movie, to me it just felt like, it just feels like something's missing. It feels like, but I felt like other things were missing too, like more intensity, more suspenseful scenes, more just, I don't know, maybe just more like dramatic scenes, and maybe even with Nick finding out what Kelly was really up to, unless he had found out maybe a little bit sooner, sometime after his dad got killed, that then he could be investigating her on his own. So yeah, I think it could have somehow turned out that way. But yeah, it did feel like something was missing, including and meaning that to me just felt like, oh, I know what's missing. It just felt like what was missing was of JT Walsh, of his character not being alive through the rest of the movie. And so with this story that I came up with, I thought, yeah, that would have been great, because not only would he probably have a little bit more screen time throughout the movie, but knowing that he would still be in the movie, he would still have some scenes, and that I think that would have been great, with that kind of story and everything. But yes, even though it didn't turn out that way, although in my mind I wanted to see it that way. But like I said, I might have a dream about it, maybe. But yeah, I would love to see that though. But like I said, I know that sadly we won't get to see a different version of the movie, of the story itself, but only in my mind, that's how it is in my mind. But yeah. And so, yeah, I just gotta say, it doesn't make sense for her to have this plan to kill off her husband, because one, he not only was a wealthy businessman, but he was a good husband to her, and he was, a very handsome man. And so it's like, knowing that with him around, that he would be able to provide for her, take care of her, and from what I can see, he loved her, but I don't think she loved him, and so, yeah, knowing that she killed off this really good character, and knowing that she had him killed off only because of this plan to take his money and to use it for her own advantage. So yeah, makes me upset. Like, you must be out of your freaking mind to do something like that. I'm like, jeez, like psycho. But yeah, again, it is a good movie, but does it mean that I like to see the part of where his character gets killed off? No, because I felt like it was missing something. And that's what it was missing, that he needed to be more in the movie and to have his character alive. And pretty much everything that I had just told you earlier. So yeah, I just felt like that was missing. And that could have happened too, which would have been great. And I think that would have been probably more, like I said, more intense, more suspenseful, dramatic, and just really great if it had turned out that way. But yeah, again, it's just an idea of this whole different story that I had created in my mind. Because honestly, because yeah, when it comes to certain movies that I watch, and if I don't like how a certain scene happens, that's where my mind gets creative, and I'm like, you know what? Instead of this happening to this character, this could have happened instead, because this would have been better than this or that, And so, yeah. So anyway, so yes, again, good story, although that was missing, which could have been different, but I mean, that's okay. And it's still a movie I will still watch. And, you know, yeah, the director did a good job. Although I think with the quality of the movie, I think it could have been a little bit more sharper, with color. But other than that, it's still, still watchable and everything. And so yeah, everyone did such a good job. We get a good cast and their performances. What did I say? Okay, I am so sorry. I said a different word. How did I said it? Forgive me, but it sounded like when I said performances, the way I said it just now, it sounded like I had put, like I added a J into the word. I don't know how that happened, but that was so weird, because I was I was going to say it, but then it came out like that, and I'm like, that's never happened before. Okay, so that was funny. So again, good cast and good performances. I don't know how that happened. Earlier, how? How did I end up saying performances and somehow you hear the J in there? Like, how? I don't know, but again, that's just funny. So yeah, everyone did a good job, and yeah, so it is a good movie. So if you want to see it, I do recommend it, and it should be on Tubi, because the last time I did watched it was somewhere on Tubi. So yeah. And I just want to say, I know this is going on for a bit long, and so I'm sorry. It is going on for a bit long here. And I just want to say this, that when it comes to these certain videos, especially a popcorn chat video, and when it comes to discussing a movie, now to me, it could be as long as it wants. It could be within 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And right now it's going on to 40 minutes, so I hope you're okay with that. Yeah, I still can't get over how that happened. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. But yeah, again, so good movie overall, and if you want to check it out, I do recommend it. And yeah, it should be on Tubi, so you should be able to watch it on there. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this movie discussion on The Little Death. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. So for more movie content, reactions, dreams, and the paranormal, subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. That's all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.